Rugby League is back.
Drum roll, please.
You're a true Warriors fan.
I have no recollection of that hot take.
We don't all have to agree.
It's good to be back.
It's just a really boring thing.
Oh, partner.
Start winning some games.
I think there'll be a lot of changes to the team.
I've got them making the 8 for mine.
Let's go. Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Advantage Line, TAB's Rugby League betting podcast. My name is Karl Tiley, back in the studio, back in the driver's seat, sitting next to my co-pilot, Paul Moate. Paul, you went all right last week?
No, it was absolute rubbish. Fair dinkum.
I know.
We were all over the place.
I listened to half and then stopped listening.
Wow. Oh, so you were the one listener that got halfway.
And the guy that derailed the episode from the jump, Nick Tedeschi. How's it going?
I derailed the episode. I thought I was just on my normal behaviour, but
It's an easy job.
I guess there was no leader to pause back in.
Well, Paul tried to do the right thing and tell everyone where I was, doing good stuff for men's health, and then you've come over the top and just absolutely rissoled me. So,
Did I? The number of times I've tried to rissole you, Karl, I can't remember. I can't really remember it.
anyway, we're back, punters, and we're on track. We'll try and keep this thing on track anyway. Let's get straight into it. Reasonably, this is going to be no surprise to anyone, but reasonably heavy Warriors content this week. But we'll start with punting. Any good stories from last week, gents?
Yeah, I'll give you one good story. I woke up pretty distraught after another horrid weekend on the punt, and realised I accidentally backed Colin Morikawa not to win the Tour Championship, but backed him in a 72 hole. So I got a win out of that, and it was like very, very. That's 2 accidental golf winners in 2 weeks. So I've gotten very lucky there.
That is disgusting, and also incredibly cool at the same time.
Yeah, I can't. I don't. I'll give myself a little bit of. I'm not sure I accidentally backed him twice. I backed him in both, but I've certainly forgotten that I backed him. So I certainly wasn't up there cheering, sweating at the bet. It was, yeah, that was. I got a lot more disastrous stories from the punt than cool stories from the punt. But yeah, that was so.
I don't have any cool stories. Mine's all disaster. Like, I think it was you a couple of weeks ago, Ted said you never want to win the first or second race of the day.
Never. The worst thing you can do.
I think I won the first and the second, and then it was.
I'm guessing you didn't finish up for the day.
No, did not.
I'm sure the jammiest man in New Zealand managed to find 58 winners though.
Paul posted a winning video on social media.
So group of mates were owners in a racehorse. He was running down at Riccarton on Saturday, so we decided to all meet up at the pub right at the start of the day. His race wasn't. His race was the last race of the day. It was a bit of a build-up, and had a few bits during the day. I struggled to miss, which is very unlike me. It was unbelievable. I even backed a horse that ran second and got promoted.
You know it's your day then, Paul. You know it's your day then.
And was paying around $9-10. So it was pretty. And our horse, who got headed at the 200, fought back and won the last of the day.
Oh, what a day!
So,
now, how did it roll over into the Greyhounds and Harness in Belmont at night, Paul?
I picked the wrong Parnham to double up with Billy Pike at Belmont, but I left the boys at Dakota at I think I left fairly early, so I don't know what time it was.
2:30, 3.
If anyone saw Paul Moate at Dakota and Wellington, please write in, give us a shout out.
I'll give you the tip. The demographic there would not be listening to the advice.
What about punting for this show specifically, Paul? How did we go?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, come on. He's dropped the ball.
Well, I have. I'll give you the tip right now. I have not got it here.
Wow.
I haven't got it.
Wow. I apologise, punters.
I'm
1 week I was gone. 1 week.
I'm guessing that you may have been successful.
No, look, I can't even remember what I bet on.
I think I got dusted.
I'll be able to find out what
Yeah, tell us.
So just what Paul tries to recover that, which I'm guessing you won't. No. One of the great backdoor covers of all time for those who took the Melbourne Storm last Thursday night. And they were the better team, and all of a sudden they're down by 14 thanks to that moronic winger, Dean Iriema. And then a hero emerges, whose name I've completely forgotten already. Vipalu, I think his name is, who made a 50-metre break, dummy, sidestepped the fullback and scored a try. A hero to absolutely us. I don't know how he's going to tell that story in 20 years' time, but I can tell you, I've exaggerated the story already after a week.
Ativalu Lasati? Is that who?
Oh, yeah. He'll do.
Or Lazarus.
Nah. Well, what about that one? If he got the first try of the game, Lazarus. So if you're the Vailepu other fella double, well played to you, because that would have paid about $1 billion to 1.
I found my punt from last week, and it did not win.
I hope he's named after Glenn Lazarus.
Moved a bit faster than Glenn.
I had $100 on the Chooks minus 7.5 into the Dogs head-to-head and to the Knights head-to-head. So, no good.
Yeah. There we go.
Well, they're saying that 2 out of 3 ain't bad, but 1 out of 3, it's not real flash.
No. I can stop a team at the moment.
I had the Storm into, I think, a couple of morals into the Dragons, though, who were disgusting. But I got one of the great bakes of all time from Shane Flanagan.
It was a wild end to the game, wasn't it?
It was the highest ever losing score. Yeah. They were down 44-12 with 10 to play. What's 44-40?
I remember I had the Dragons in my multi. I had the Storm plus 12.5 and over 50.5 in the Newcastle Gold Coast.
Oh, that was one of the sickest beats of all time. Lobbed on 50, 7 shots at goal missed. Still sick about that. Still absolutely sick.
All right. Let's. Oh,
I heard that one.
Did you have this problem last week?
No.
Hearing yourself in the. No. Anyway.
No.
All right. Let's go. Divided opinion. Some, as I said, heavy Warriors content. Put it to you boys here. Given the circumstances of where the Warriors have this season, where they finish in the ladder, SJ's last game, that win against the Sharks on the weekend is up there with the best win that the Warriors have had in recent memory. Teddy.
Well, I'm probably not as adept at recalling great Warriors wins. I know you didn't have many for about 6 years, so it'll be up there with something from last year, I imagine. Yeah, look, I thought it really showed how much they love Sean Johnson. Like, I thought it was a really, it's cost me a fortune because I had the Sharks as the highest finishing New South Wales team, so they can get right in the seat for doing it. Only 15-1, that's fine, Warriors, but it was pretty special to watch. I'll tell you what, I was watching that just after half time with my 7-year-old Ollie. I said, I'm pretty sure the Sharks are going to win this by 50. Because there's 2 tries disallowed, one of which shouldn't have been. But, yeah, there's collapse and you guys come rolling over the top. So I'm going to say yes, but without a lot of context.
If we're saying recent memory, like last 2 or 3 years, then yes, it's right up there. I guess it wasn't as important a game because it had no bearing on the finals for the Wars. But it was a good way to send Shawnee off. Once again, Wars supporters, I think, are undefeated this season in terms of best signs at a ground.
Well, to be fair, one was from his wife.
Yeah, well, that was
very good. Very good.
Yeah, another wife that's another wag that's had a sign up at a game that's he got anywhere close to
It was outstanding. Followed by I think it was on his or her Instagram post about 3 a.m.
And then the follow up to that. So they showed that on the Matty John show, Sunday night show, and then there was a story, I think, on Sean's account of Kayla filming Sean watching the Matty John show, and he was laughing, and then he turns around, he's like, "Come on, babe, you just got to, do it for the boys,
Scientists.
And she was sitting down, and she was in the weeds. She was on the fence, not up in a box where the wags normally are. So that was good to see.
Yeah, proper.
All right, not a lot of division there.
I'll tell you what. Has there divided opinion? Has there been one opinion divided all year?
No, there was one, I reckon, where you and Blake were close to fighting. If you're in the same room, you might have punched each other in the face.
Was this when I called Nick Meaney Roger to a show? Trust me, I wouldn't be punching Blake Hastings in the face.
That was last year, I think. I don't know. I think it was.
Well, all I know is Nick Meaney won a premiership and Roger Tuivasa Sheik's already on Mad Monday.
Rogers won a premiership?
Yeah, well, not this year.
No. Neither's Nick Meaney.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Oh.
We'll roll straight into the Warriors game. And do a quick sort of recap, and then we're going to look at some season awards. We're going to give out our own season awards for the Warriors. The Warriors have actually got their season awards this Sunday.
They do.
Paul and I are lucky enough to be in attendance. They asked the Advantage Line if they could come along, do a live podcast. I'm kidding, Ted.
I wasn't expecting it. I've seen how this has played out this year.
But the Warriors get it done 30 points to 28. As you say, they were down 22-4. Looked like it was going to be 30-odd to 4. Two tries disallowed immediately after halftime for the Sharkies.
I'll tell you what, all the complaining you did about referees seemed to have worked because you got every call that came that was humanly possible.
Both of those tries were not tries.
No, the second try was a try.
Nah, it wasn't. They got disallowed.
First one. Sorry. So being awarded is what we're determining is what tries are this year because we're in a lot of trouble, man. Please delete every prior episode of the Advantage Line because it's all full of non-truths. Every try that's awarded is a try.
It was another kind of typical Warriors performance for the first 40, 50 minutes of the game where they shot out of the blocks early, got off to a good start, Luke Metcalf scored that great try off the Sean Johnson line break, and they were repelling the Sharks, and it was looking really good, and then all of a sudden, bang, 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 we're down by 20 points. And it's like, what the hell just happened? And that kind of, to me, Paul, that summed up the Warriors season. That we've seen a lot, we've talked a lot about that this year, and that's how the games have kind of unfolded.
Their season was encapsulated in that game. Yeah, it was. And I guess it gives us a little sort of bo peep into what we might expect next season with a fully fit Metcalf. I don't know who his halves partner will be next season, whether it's Tamari Martin, Harris DeVita. They've got a young Cleary.
Maybe SJ comes out of retirement in March. We don't do the off-season training.
The way he played in the final game, it looks like he's still got a bit of gas left in him. But always good when you choose when to go as a player.
No, I think that's rubbish. I just think he can't go to train anymore. The Warriors should have stepped up and given him the Terry Lamb treatment.
100%, yeah.
Just play. Turn up on game day. Run a few ball sessions. No running the sand dunes.
No.
Agree. What'd you make of that first 40 minutes, Ted?
Yeah, I thought the Warriors were just going to go into a heap. I thought they were. I thought they were poor, particularly on the edges. I thought the defence was worrying again. But I thought they were going to go one way after that. you benefit a lot, and it's not only Warriors, but teams who are behind benefit a lot from Chris Butler's refereeing style. Not only has he got no idea, he's so stop-start with everything in terms of like how long things take to reach a decision. But it's a game where you can wrestle, you can end a team's momentum very quickly by just the way he fishes. There aren't too many referees who would have let that Katoa knock on go to the other end of the field and score a try. Like, there's just most will just call it up because it was reasonably obvious, that one. But that goes on all of a sudden, that kind of stop start helps them and help the Warriors get back into it. And then I think it must have been a pretty good speech half time from Webster. I imagine it was pretty central to Sean Johnson, just like, go and give this bloke the farewell he deserves. How I love that. So, but yeah, they were really poor the first bit, and I wonder how much of that was the emotion that carried over. Like, you saw, like, for a guy as well, Dylan Walker's always fired up. I don't think I've ever seen him fired up as much as he was last week.
3 penalties back to back to start.
And mouthed off over every one of them.
Yeah.
I think one of the we'll kind of get this. I think we're going to do some Warriors awards and stuff later on in moments, whatever. But I think the big question for Andrew Webster over the offseason is how he shapes that back line. You talked about the halfback position earlier, but what he does at fullback and what he does at the centres, because you've got like that Ali Leotawa is obviously a great attacking player, but his defence is horrific. Now, you're young, that can improve over an off-season, you get an experience, I'm like, absolutely not writing him off at any point. Yeah, but that's an area that's got to improve. And then, what do you do with Chance? And yeah, Montoya came good. I thought Montoya had a pretty good game the other night, which is unlike him and also unlike me to give him credit for that. So, but he was good, I thought. So, no strong ball carrier. So, yeah, I think he did really well to bounce back from that start, because that's the start that would have left plenty of teams flailing and get beat by 40.
Twice in a row. Sorry, just quickly. Twice in a row now, down by 20 odd at Shark Park and come back to win it at the death.
Yeah.
And SJ curating both of them.
I wonder how much that was well, I don't know if SJ left on good terms about it. It seemed like he left on pretty good terms, so there might still be a little bit of fire in the belly there.
We're talking about flimsy edge defence. I think Cronulla have a few things to work out as they head into the finals, because that left-hand side in the second half was like a sieve. DWZ scoring a hat-trick on the right-hand side of the Warriors attack. Nickel Clockstad busting through as well.
Sam Stone's treats the same as Leotawa, right? Like, great attacking player who can't defend for the life of him.
Yeah, and once again, that's something that'll come with more experience and more off-season sort of practice. But
playing two youngsters next to each other is a highly dangerous practice for them. Like, playing, like, Hero is obviously shaping as a really good player as well, but I do not like at all when two rookies are playing next to each other, because, like, particularly on the line, there's just not that trust. And the decision making was like, did he score how many tries on the weekend? How was he touched on either of them? No, like he's running it in air. Like, it was just like, well, no, it was the mistakes were made inside. Yeah.
You made a good point, Ted. Just
always nice. It's always nice to get one.
And a for it. Around the team makeup next year, and like the Warriors' back five stocks are very healthy. When you like Tane Tuapiki, he had a pretty good season in the games he played. He played pretty well the other night. You've got Dallin, you've got Marcelo, they just say Ali Leotawa, RTS, Chance. They're also looking, rumours circulating, Sean Stevenson, you'll love this, Teddy, coming from Rugby Union.
Well, I don't think we'd be pressing first grade if you come from Rugby Union.
And that makes 25 in a row.
Yes. It's true. Okay, you tell me the last player who played Rugby Union before Rugby League at a professional level who's played in the NRL.
Matthew
Yeah,
Ricks.
the answer goes back to the 1990s.
Your mate at the Tigers, Solomono Alamato.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. There you go. He played for the. To be fair, my research only went as far as the Wallabies, so I didn't go back on that. But the answer previously was Gareth Morgan. For those who want to say.
I would say, he would be an asset. But yeah, it'll be very interesting to see the makeup of the back line in particular next year. And the forward pack's set, it's rock solid, but the back line is very much up in the air, I'd say.
Yeah, look, it's got based on what I saw from Metcalf the last 2 weeks, it has to revolve around him.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, he doesn't disagrees.
You cannot be serious.
Big SJ fan. It says. Alrighty. Let's go into some season awards. I've got what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 awards to give out here. We'll go around the horn. Start with you, Teddy. First off the bat, your player of the year. I'd be surprised if we're all different here.
I thought it was absolutely the easiest one to give out. Mitch Barnett, I thought was absolutely outstanding. He was clearly on top for me.
Same.
Sign me up.
Yep, I've got him too. Couple of stats. Obviously, finished season as captain. Got the New South Wales call up. Most offloads in the team. The 5th most tackle breaks. 3rd in run meters, and 2nd in minutes played for the year.
Yeah, huge.
Blue workhorse.
Yeah, well, workhorse with some football in him. That's
yeah.
what I like about him. Like when he was on an edge, he was scoring tries. I think he scored 4 out of 5, 4 out of 6 weeks. Like there's workhorses who would just go tackle.
Yeah.
Or just go do the man. Like he's got footy in him. Like he's a really, really, really. And you want to hang on to him because there are going to be clubs calling in the next couple of years from Sydney, from New South Wales. Come home, son, and that's where you're going to want to hang on to him. But like, I'm going to be pretty critical of Andrew Webster later on, but he's done a very good job with Mitch Barnett.
I think I said earlier in the season. I think he'll be our long-term captain.
Yeah, if he stays for sure.
Tohu's maybe got one more season in him, and then Barnett will be. I wouldn't be surprised if Barnett keeps the captaincy next year.
Yeah, if Tohu was smart and the club's smart, like keep him around as a veteran player. Just when you have those injuries and you're getting old, just relieve yourself with the cap. Take the pressure off you.
Yeah. What about next best?
So that's a lot harder.
Yep.
I thought this was a way more difficult. I'll give it to Wade Egan, who's nudged out for Noah Blake and mainly, and I don't think Wade did much over the back end of the season, but I'll go back to the first kind of 10 or 12 weeks. And there's talk that he was in the Origin mix, and I certainly thought he was in the Origin mix. And I thought his creativity, particularly when Metcalf was on the field, was really, really important to the way. So I'll give it to Wade Egan, but just.
I would have given it to Metcalf if he was on the field a wee bit more. And I agree with Teddy. I think there was Mitch Barnett, then there was Daylight, and then there was a whole lot that sort of lined up. There was maybe 5, half a dozen sort of lined up. Very, very similar seasons. I'm going with Sean Johnson. Yeah.
Wow, wait.
I don't know, maybe call it the...
I believe people were calling for his head. And for Tamara Martin started ahead of him for a while.
Call me a romantic. And maybe this is recency bias, just the way he finished off the season. But I think I hope we don't notice it next season. And that'll be a big test. But he's had to change his game from that fleet-footed, step 6 or 7 guys on his way to the try line to a game manager and a sort of provider, an assist getter, as opposed to someone who just can, with individual brilliance, break a team apart. So I enjoyed the way that his game has evolved. So yeah, Sean Johnson for mine.
I disagree. I don't think it was daylight between Mitch Barnett. I think Adam Fanua-Blake was very close and statistically could have easily had the top player of the year award.
It was the off the field stuff that took him down for me.
Yeah.
And that played a big part. I think that played a big part in the Warriors' downfall this year.
Yep, and that's why I've got him next best and not top. But again, he was huge. 8 tries, 5th most minutes all year, top the run meters, top the tackle breaks, second in offloads. He's always creating. Like he will be missed.
Oh, and if you get like for like with Fisher Harris, that is completely off the like. Fisher Harris is a great player, but stylistically, poles apart.
Yeah,
Shawnee, don't worry about it.
Me?
Don't worry about it.
I've missed something there.
Yeah.
Next one, Rookie of the Year. I've got a clarifying question, even though this is my own segment. How many games does one have to play before they're not considered a rookie?
I think to win our Rookie of the Year, you're not allowed to play 3 games prior. So you can play 3 or 4. So.
No, that's niggly then.
You're not putting Luke Metcalf in. Is what you're asking for.
No. Like, I wanted to say Ali Laitoa, but he played, I think, 6 or 7 games last year.
I did?
He did. Very unmemorable games.
Yeah.
But his games this year were incredibly memorable.
You could have slotted him in, and I wouldn't have noticed.
Okay.
I have.
Your Rookie of the Year, Ted?
I gave it to... I don't think he played that much, but certainly for the upside, I'm going to give it to Salimila Halisima, who I thought was, in limited opportunities, he just looked like an absolute beast. And I've got no statistics to back this up, and I know that Tane Tuapiki is probably going to win the majority of you guys, and he's obviously exciting prospect. But I like to look at this kid, and it looked like he could play anywhere. So I listen much for
me. The Bulldogs 3-quarter line will have plenty of stats to back that selection up. That game,
missed tackles, plenty.
He was that 10, 15 minute stint when he came on the park and just opened the game up, opened the lineup, playing at centre, playing out of position. Like it was very good to watch.
You must have won that game.
Come on, man. We're celebrating.
We're celebrating them now. When we get to the next 5 awards, there'll be a lot less celebrating. I can assure you of that.
Who's your rookie, Paul?
I was going to go Laatoa, even though he's now
not
been
a
ruled
rookie.
out.
Well, I think it's fine. He's in.
You make up your own rules. I'm just passing on what the official NRL rules are. But
Teddy correctly points out he does have his defensive frailties, but he will improve with time, more time on the field, more time training with the team, and offensively, he already showed he's a package that has to be dealt with by the opposition. So,
hey, if you let in 1, you've got to score 2, and I think he would score 2 for every 1 he lets in. So that's fine.
Yep, fair.
Biggest surprise of the year, Teddy?
I had a couple. I'll give just one award, but for Noah Blake's petulance, I thought was a surprise. Considering how much of a warrior he'd been for the club, I thought the Magic Round and some of the other stuff, and not so much the kind of carry off the field, just how it reflected on the field. Like you mentioned, he was a lot more games than not. He was 200 meters try, but there were some games where he was having 80 meters and just not doing his carries. I was surprised by that. I was surprised by the emergence of Dylan Walker as a forward, like particularly his work rate. Get to 40 tackles a game, 100 to 140 metres. Like he turned out to be a very good lock forward. But I'm going to give a whack to your coach here, and I want to say how misused some of the players were. I don't know. I'm certainly calling for Webster's head, or I think he can improve it his second year. But I was stunned at how running to the ground Wade Egan and Roger Tuivasa-Sheck were. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck was used as a battering ram this year. That's not his game at all. He gets to the meters. I think if you're not going to play him at fullback, I think we'll have a discussion later on whether he should be a fullback or not. And I think I'll certainly come to the conclusion. I've changed my view that he probably should be now. That he can't be used as a centre battering ram. That's just not his go. Like he's got so much skill, and so much with a huge work rate. Don't just use him as a battering ram. Like, get him in some space. So, and Wade Egan, you've got a classy hooker, and you do have decent backups to be just playing 80 minutes as a guy making 50 tackles a game. It showed at the back end of the season. Like Egan had nothing left by the end of the year. Like nothing left. Like the tank was empty. You've got to better manage players than that. I thought some mismanagement of those players were poor. That was my biggest surprise, based on how well Webster had done managing the team last year.
I've got one that's not directly related to any players, and it's the drop-off from last year in terms of play, like sort of how good the Warriors were last year. As a long time Warriors fan, there was a long period during the year where we'd be up in games last year and I'm still sitting on the edge of my seat thinking, oh God, when's it going to happen? And by the end of the season, that was gone. It was out of me. Every game you go in confidently, we're going to win easy. And it happened start of the year, we lost that first game, just lost to the Storm. We still look good. But really surprised by how the season's turned out. But then also the continued support from Warriors fans.
Oh, that was a surprise, yeah.
To sell out every single home game of the season, like previous years, like those fans have just out the back door and gone.
Yeah. Seems like the Warriors have surpassed all rugby union in New Zealand. Would that be fair to say?
It'd be very close, if not true. Like, yeah, the movement, the Wars movement last year, like it's absolutely changed the game.
Okay, question for you. 6:30 news bulletin comes on, blah, blah, blah. They get to the sports section. The Warriors have played a game, and there's an All Blacks game. What's the first news story on the news? Still All Blacks?
Look, they don't show One News on Bluey, so I can't comment.
It would still be the All Blacks.
Yeah.
What about a Super Rugby result ahead of a Warriors game?
No, probably was.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I'll take that.
Yeah.
I think the Warriors fans deserve a lot of credit. The real telling point was how sustainable it is what happens next year.
Yeah.
Like whether they still show up. Because I think there's a good chance they do still show up. Because I think there's a level of coolness about what's going on now. But I think what the Warriors, whether you mentioned something earlier, they played such a good style of football last year. The problem was they kept trying to play the same style of football. And it's just like it was built on a bit of a house of sand last year in terms of it was never really that kind of performance out of SJ again for a year. He was old, and it just never evolved. And I think there just needed to be a bit more of an evolution in their attack. And maybe it was coming, and then Metcalf got hurt. I don't know, but it just wasn't there this year. And I think that's something that they're going to have to work on next year in terms of just evolving the attack a bit more. That's not really huge changes, but just kind of bringing some subtlety. Because once everyone spends an off season doing tape on you, watching the video, like you figure out ways to stop it. You've got time to do it, and that's why defense always reigns supreme. And attack is, as flighty as anything.
Your surprise?
It was the fans.
Wow.
The way that they did not just drop off when the Wires started going through a couple of bad patches. They're I'll say it, they're the best fan base in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Sporting fan base.
Absolutely. Next one. The biggest what the moment.
Whee!
Whoa. Racy. Well, one stood out to me, so I just left it at this when two wingers got sent to the sim at the same time. I thought that really summed up the Warriors season. That really tickled me, something chronic.
Was that the Dogs game too?
Don't think so. I don't think that was the Dogs game.
It was in that stretch.
It was in that stretch, yeah. It was a night game from memory, and the Dog game was a day game. So.
Yeah, tough. Mine was round 2. And Melbourne Storm scoring
the charge down
2 tries in 90 seconds to win a game that they should have won. Warriors massive comeback in the second half, and then that Xavier Coates try, one of the most
Mid-ear.
ridiculous tries
Yeah.
we've ever seen.
Oh, don't.
It was a true what just happened. Yours, Paul?
It was the game against Canberra, and I'm not blaming one player here, but the conversion from a very handy position that
It's a bit hard to blame anyone else.
that would have missed another set of posts. I'd already written. I hadn't written it down, but I was already in my mind. We're going to Golden Point here. So, yeah, that was just my how the
most memorable moment, Ted.
I had a few here. One positive, most not. Comeback in SJ's last game was, obviously incredible. Having 66 put on them, that was memorable by the Titans.
Can't remember
The very lucky penalty the Warriors got to get a draw against Manly. But most memorable moment had to have been Xavier Coates' miracle try to beat the Warriors. That was probably try of the year, but like how like it was incredible. Not nice for the Warriors, but at least it was at least you got beaten by something incredibly special that day.
Mine was SJ's last game. That comeback. Took me an hour to calm down. Like, we finished at midnight here. I didn't get to bed till 1 because I was just so pumped up. So happy. Wiping the tears from my eyes. It was so good. I'm not.
I know you're not. I 100% know you're not. I'm well aware.
And you mentioned the Titans game. I won't forget this. It was very memorable. Paul and I were filming with the Warriors boys the Monday after the Titans game, and we're incredibly worried about sort of how they were going to turn up and receive what it was we were doing.
Don't mention the score.
I won't say what he said, but Dylan Walker had one of the great icebreakers when he walked in, and it related to the game.
We're all good.
And we were like, okay, we're good. Let's go. Like, it was funny. Very funny man, Dylan Walker.
I'm not sure Chris Butler thought so on Saturday, but
I was surprised he didn't get sent.
I was stunned. I would 7 of the 8 referees last weekend would have put him in the bin.
Yeah.
Thank you, Annesley.
I'm not sure Chris Butler speaks English, so I don't know what cost him.
Your memorable moment.
Was the Magic Round win over the Panthers. The Wars coming off 4 straight losses. No Shawnee Johnson. The halves period of Nickel Clockstad and Tamari Martin. And this was up against the Panthers side that, although they were without Cleary, they still had Dylan Edwards, Brian To'o, Jerome Luai, James Fisher-Harris, Liam Martin, Isaiah Yeo. So a whole lot of state of origin experience there. And they came back. I thought it was a huge performance from the boys there and almost turned their season around.
Yeah, that was the moment we kind of thought like, oh, this is it. This is we're back here. We were not back. All right, last one I've got here. We would have made the 8 if.
Yep.
I've got a few reasons, so I won't limit this to one, but couldn't get over the line in close games. 3-7-1, and games decided by a score. Good news for Warriors fans is that usually regresses to the mean over a period, so I'll take that as a positive that should send you further. But what I'm saying there is that essentially you're going to finish 50-50 over a period of time, and you didn't last year, so there's upside there. Losing Metcalf hurt. I think we mentioned at the time that it was going to be bad, but I don't think any of us really realised how much it would cripple the Warriors' attack. Probably stuck too long with Chance at fullback. I think that it became clear as the season went on, and this relates to my last point as well, which is that the Warriors played a far too conservative game, that you need to have a ball player at the back. And I think Roger offers more creativity. And Chance is very good close to the line, kind of using his speed to kind of get on the outside and pass, but is not really wouldn't be in the same league as Roger as a creator. The conservative style was poor. The third and offloads, when second phase players really become the key to success, and you've got attacking weapons. So I was just a bit surprised how conservative they're running.
Paul, what about your? We would have made it if.
I'm thinking along the similar lines to Teddy there. Look, the Wars are going to finish on 25 points, so they would have needed only 3 more wins to make it in. As Teddy said, they lost 7 games by 6 points or less. They would have only had to have turned 3 of those around to be in the 8th spot and be playing in the finals. So, and if you have a look at some of those losses, I mean, like 13-12, 20-18, 12, the very first game of the season when they were up early and lost to the Sharks 12-16, 34-32 late in the season. Just 3 of those games, you turn them around, bang, they sneak in.
I'd love to hear the stats on teams or how many times the Warriors were up 10-0, 12-0 and coughed it up. Maybe I wouldn't. No,
you may not want to. No.
Anyway, my one was around the injuries and the number of key players we lost at different times through the years. We said Metcalf, Tohu, SJ was out for a long time. Chance had a few weeks out. Wade Egan, revolving doors at centre. Like there was just no consistency within the teams. I think that played a big part too. All right, let's move on. I was going to have a quick look at the ladder, but we've chewed up a lot of time. We'll come back to that after next week. Let's go to the grid. It's a very special grid this week. If you're playing along at home, pause the pod, go find the grid for Tuesday, September 3. See if you can find a little theme. Come back. It relates to one of the members of the podcast, and I'll give it to any of us 3.
Did he play in a grand final?
No.
He wasn't at
Remember
the Tigers in
20,
was it 205? He wasn't there.
No, he's 2006 or 7 he started.
Nah, later than that.
Or was it 2009?
208?
2009 maybe. We're talking
about...
Yeah,
209. Yeah.
Blake, this grid...
Just for you.
Every single square
in
this grid could be Blake Ashford. Knowing that going into it, because Teddy set this up, knowing that going into it, there's a lot of pressure on which square you put Blake in.
100% there is.
To get a good score. I got a brain, so I feel like I did pretty good.
I got a brain for him.
I got 5.52.
Now, we tried to get Blake on this week, but he had other engagements. But I did tell him to check the grid out last night, and he said, "Is this an effing jab at me?" I tick every box. What's going on? And then he sent me his grid, and out of spite,
he
hasn't used himself at all.
Oh, that's so good.
Tuesday,
and he still, September. You know what? And he still beat me. Wow. Okay,
that's good. He picked a teammate for most of these.
He's perfectly himself. He should have scored about 8.
I don't know about you guys, maybe not you, Ted, but whenever there's a Warriors jersey, they are kind of like
I like
the rest of it. I'll fill it with Warriors wherever I can, and I've got 7 of 9 all played for the Warriors in this grid.
Nice.
But anyway,
I'm hoping that you guys didn't put Blake Ashford in the top right-hand corner.
No.
Okay.
Let's go across the top. Has played 150 or more games with no rep games.
And rep games are New South Wales, Queensland, Kangaroos or Kiwis.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Is that it?
Yeah. That's what it says.
I could have. Where does it say that?
Like you hover over it, and their rep teams include New South Wales, Queensland,
wish I had
Kangaroos,
known
Kiwis.
Has played for the Warriors, has played 150 or more games and never played in the grand final. Down the left, has played for the Tigers, played in 2015, and has played for the Sharks. Teddy, we'll go to you first for your top row.
Struggled on the top row. 150 games, no rep games. Bryce Gibbs, 4.4. Warriors, Tigers, Wizard, 0.64. Michael Crockett. 150 plus games, never played in the grand final. And the Tigers, Aaron Woods, 9.95.
Oh, wow.
Gee, that was a nasty start. Not as nasty as mine, but yeah.
Very unpleasant.
I'll do Blake's while we're here. Liam Fulton, 3.42.
Hmm?
John Carlaw, 2.83. And Keith Galloway, 4.45. I had Todd Payton, 4.53. Tui Lolohea, Brain, 2.43. And a Wizard, Wade McKinnon, 2.63.
Oh,
One of my favourite fullbacks.
I had John Scandalis, 3.94. Ben Matulino, 8.79. Tyron Smith, 100.
Oh, no.
I'm guessing that a lot of his games were played prior to 98.
I don't know. I don't know that he played that many games, did he?
Did he not? He played for so many clubs.
Exactly. Not much reason. He played 188 games through his career, but 54 of them were played. Sorry, 63 of them were played prior.
Right to 98.
Unlucky.
Yeah. Oh, well.
All right, Teddy, middle row.
I listed here 150 games, no rep games, played in 2015. Blake Ashford, 1.19. Brain, the great man. Warrior, played in 2015. Unicorn, 0.11. Carlos Tuamavave.
Oh,
150 plus games, never played in the grand final. Played in 2015. David Mead, 1.34.
very good.
Good row.
Blake had Sam Tagatizi, Brain, 1.18. Thomas Luluai, Brain, 0.61. And Brad Takarangi, 1.30. I had Blake Ashford, 1.19. Next one, Wizard. Sam Tompkins, the great hope that never
Oh,
eventuated.
nice. Had a
0.
great career.
We did. Not for the Warriors.
I thought you guys treated him very harshly. I thought he played well enough.
Oh, he did. He just didn't. He didn't get Dally M and win us a grand final like he was supposed to. So, and 150 games, never played a grand final. Played 2015. Isaac Luke, 2.14.
David Nofoaluma, 1.80. Dominic Peru, Wizard, 0.27. Mitchell Barnett, 1.46.
Bring us home, Ted. Bottom row.
Sharks, 150 plus games, no rep. Kevin Kingston, Brain, 2.68. Warriors, Sharks, Luke Metcalf, Brain, 1.10. And 150 plus games, never played in the GF, Colin Best, 3.23.
Blake had Ben Barber, 3.85. Tavita Leolatu, Wizard, 0.60.
Who?
Tavita Leolatu. He played 22 games for the Warriors and 10 games for Cronulla.
Never heard of him.
Neither have I.
Good effort for you to have not heard of a Warriors player.
I know. 22
Oh,
games. Wow. Oh, between 2003 and 2005. That's during the great years too. And Ben Pomeroy, Wizard, 1.96.
Ben Pomeroy. The worst hands in the history of the NRL.
Co-sign that.
used to catch like he was a seal at SeaWorld. Couldn't get those flippers together.
That's a slide on seals.
Yeah, that is a slide on seals, and also not what he was originally called. But we live in 2024 now. We're not going to go down that route.
No, don't. I had Jeff Robson 3.12. Also Luke Metcalf, Brain 1.10, and Isaac De Gois 3.39.
Jason Bakuya 3.52. Blake Ashford 5.52. Aaron Woods 6.62.
Bloody Woodsy.
Totals, Teddy.
I reckon Blake's won this. I got 24.6, and I gave 10 of them were for Aaron Woods. So I think I did very well outside of one box.
Blake has won this. He got 20.2.
Ooh.
It was the Blake.
It was him.
So he should have.
Yes. Yep.
I got 20.8. I'll take the silver.
Nice.
131.9.
It never gets old.
Oh, the best.
Right. We're running out of time. Let's go into this week's game. There are plenty of games where stuff can still happen. But the three that I've pulled out, the Spoon Bowl, Tigers Eels, Dogs Cowboys, and the Knights Dolphins. Teddy, what have you got for the Tigers Eels?
Spoon Bowl, yeah. Para won 9 of the last 11, but Tigers have covered the last 4. Tigers not beaten the Eels twice in a year since 2012. Won 17 and 16 back in round 4. But leading Tigers here, they're 6-3 against the spread of scoring 30, and have covered the last 2 at Campbelltown. Eels, and I say this with a tear in my eye, coached by Trent Barrett, 15 and 54 over the last 4 years. So, unfortunately, that could be the last time I get to pull out that stat. In 6 full seasons of partial seasons of coaching, he's looking for his. He's already secured his 3rd bottom 2 finish, and looking for his 2nd wooden spoon. So, good luck to you, Trent. 4 and 8 against the spread of scoring 24 or more. 2 and 6 against the spread for a win. 5 and 7 against the spread at night. Big crowd at Campbelltown. I'll be cheering the Tigers. I think the plus is a good bet.
What about straight up, head to head?
I'll be back on the Tigers. I'll be back on the Tigers 13 plus, to be honest. I think they're value across the board.
Wow.
But if Fox are serious about this, there will be that pre-game Phil Gould style walk. I'm expecting a big Matt Nable production. This has got to have it all. I won't be tuning in at 6 o'clock Australian time to watch this. I'll be getting home at 5 and flicking it on and watching the hour build up to this one.
Between these two teams, they must have won the most spoons of any teams in recent years.
Oh, well, not even about recent memory. Parramatta, I think, won 8 wooden spoons in a row in the 50s. So Parramatta and Western Suburbs are the 2 biggest winners of wooden spoons ever. The Tigers have certainly pulled it on. So, go on to other people's thoughts, but I'll get you the combined wooden spoons between the 3 clubs.
We should mention the Tigers are $2.20, Eels $1.67. The line is 2.5 points, and the total is 53.5. Which way are you leaning in this game, Teddy? Paul. Sorry.
Ouch.
Hold on. Who's the ouch for? Me or you?
For you.
Oh, give me the Tigers all day at Campbelltown. Crikey. And we're getting some points to throw in as well. The final round is ridiculously good. The matchups, if this was written by a Hollywood director, I think this is exactly the script that he would have written. You got the Spoon Bowl, Tigers, Eels. The last game of the round, you've got the Knights, Dolphins. Winner takes that 8th spot. You've got Bulldogs, Cowboys, who are currently 5th and 6th on the table. The winner will guarantee themselves, will guarantee themselves a home final for the first round. And I'm guessing that the Bulldogs would have to take that to a core. They can't take it out to one of the suburban, can't take it to Belmore, has to go to
No.
yeah. So the Bulldogs are looking at a home final as opposed to, if they lose, possibly travelling to take on the Sea Eagles. And the Sea Eagles are taking on the Cronulla Sharks, who are on the same amount of points as the Roosters at the moment. And I guess it's just who do you want to play in the first round of the finals? But I love it. I love the way the Sea Eagles went about their business against the Dogs last week. I know Tommy T. Oh, geez, I feel for the fella. But for mine, I think the final game of the round is the game of the round. The Knights $1.72, the Dolphins $2.15, and I'm going to get on the Dolphins here. I think Wayne Bennett sneaks the Dolphins into the 8.
What just happened? I asked you if you like the Tigers or the Eels.
Well, it reminded me of Frank the Tank in Old School when he was so debating, and he's debating, and James Carl up there, and he just rattled off the most perfect answer, and no one knows what's going on. That's how you do it. That's how you debate.
What happened? I blacked out.
Oh, by the way, I like the Tigers.
There's a reason I picked these 3 games. Like, I don't just come into this willy-nilly. I do some work.
Anyway, 38 combined wooden spoons between them, and 115 seasons. That's incredible. West 18, Parramatta 14, Balmain 4, so well over their history, and the West Tigers 2, and they're going to lock in another one this year. So 5 in the last 14 seasons.
Wow, wait.
This will be 6. This will be 6 and 15.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to go Tigers this game too.
Dangerous.
More to support Blake.
Didn't he pick Parramatta to win the premiership this year?
He did something like that. Yeah, he did top 4. He didn't do very well in his ladder. Next one, Dogs Cowboys, as I said, playing for that guaranteed home final.
Yeah.
What are the odds? What are the
175 Dogs, 210 the Cowboys.
Money come to the Cowboys too. I was not unhappy about the loss last week. Like, I Canterbury out winning a premiership, winning 11 or 12 in the trial. This is not happening. So I don't think it was a bad thing to have a loss. What was bad is now Matt Burton's out for this week. Bronson Sherry's out for this week. And this is a game all of a sudden Canterbury have to win. Win, you get either the Knights or Dolphins at home. Lose, and potentially going to Brookvale to play Manly. A team we just got thumped by. So, big game for the Dogs here. I'm leaning the Dogs, but the numbers don't really do a lot of justification here. It's hard to really split these two. Cowboys have won 5 of the last 7 meetings. Bulls won 2 of the last 3 in Sydney. Dogs continue to be underrated. They're 15-6 against the spread in the last 21. Covered 9 of 11 at night. 6 of 8 against top 8 teams. 6 of 9 at a core. But Cowboys have covered 8 of 11 in a state that have covered their last 4 as an underdog. So, no, Burton's a worry, like a big worry. So now, all of a sudden, Bulldogs trying to lock in 5th spot, starting Drew Hutchison and Jamin Salmon. They are big worries. So, 2 of the worst players in the NRL. Let me dig deep. The thing going for them is that the Cowboys typically hate low-scoring grinds and don't really like getting into the scrap. And that's where the Dogs do their best work. So, they've been very well coached to the Bulldogs. I imagine the game plan will be to let's make this as nasty and filthy and dirty and muddy and scrappy as possible. So it leaned towards the Dogs, but gee, I can't say I'm confident.
I feel like the Cowboys might be like the Sharks and they might stink. And they've somehow managed to make their way into the top 6 and
also had a very easy draw this year.
Yeah. So the Dogs are the far better team. You're right, Burton's big out. Crichton's back. His leadership is kind of invaluable. That's probably one of the big misses from last week. You need a grub in your team too. So, it's going to be a fun game to watch. I'm gonna go with the doggies here.
Burton is a huge loss, especially when you replace him with Drew Hutchison. And he's got the biggest kicking game in the NRL, Burton. So I think the Cowboys are probably going to be starting their sets of six, not as deep in their own half as they usually would if Burton was there. And it probably means that the Dogs pack is going to have to work a lot harder than it has done in the last sort of 4 or 5 weeks. So there's a couple of big negatives there. The thing I really like, Stephen Crichton. I think this is a game where we'll see him stand up big time and lead from the front. And I think he'll be enough to get the Dogs over the top. So I'm leaning slightly towards the Dogs.
All right. And the third one for 8th spot, Knights v Dolphins. Although if they draw past extra time, then the winner of the Raiders Dragons game can make the 8. That's not going to happen.
If this game ends up in a draw, I will give it away.
Get on the draw now, but just get on.
Knights at home, $1.72 favourites. The Dolphins, $2.15. And just looking for the draw. Can't find it. Teddy, what do the stats say here?
You need to go to your margin markers to find the draw. They come. The Knights have actually covered an incredible 18 of 21 day games, 10 of the last 13 at home in day matches, but they've covered just 4 of the last 12 off a win of 20 plus, and I like the Dolphins here a lot. Teams off conceding 10 or fewer cover at 58% in the back end of the season. Dolphins 20 and 13 against the spread as an underdog, 6 and 3 against the spread as a dog of 5.5 or less. Key for me here are 2 things though. Coaching edge. We saw what Wayne Bennett can do last week. He got them up for that game and they just destroyed them. And sticking with those team changes, which I just love. And overall talent. Well, I'm pretty critical of Adam O'Brien as a coach, but I'll give him this. He does manage to eke the most effort out of that team. But that doesn't really have a lot of, I wouldn't really say he's overflowing with talent. I just think on a fast track, which we expect it to be, there's way too many more points than the Dolphins. And maybe clouded by the fact I want them to make the 8 at 375. So I really need them to win this one. But I'm pretty happy to be on. I'm very happy with the Dolphins here.
Yeah, I agree. We saw it last week. Those late changes caught the Broncos off guard there, and they...
Honestly, the Broncos would have been caught off guard if Wayne had given them the team at 6 months beforehand. They still would have been caught off guard. So that poorly coached.
Okay. But yeah, I like the Dolphins here, and I like a fairy tale too. I want to see them in the 8. I honestly couldn't tell you the last game of the Knights I've watched. They're not a team that excite me at all, and I've got no interest in them. Yeah, where are you landing?
I'm leaning the Dolphins here at $2.50. I agree with Teddy. It's all about the coaching, and Wayne Bennett. I don't think he'll want to make this his last game in charge of the Dolphins. He'd like to take them into the finals for his final season up there at Redcliffe. So, yeah, he's very, very good. Out of, I think, turning the onus onto the players and giving them the confidence to go out there and do their thing. And those changes that he made last week, they all sort of clicked. Yeah, I really do like the Dolphs.
Alrighty. Let's wrap this thing up with some betting. Got $100 to spend on whatever you like. Next week, Paul will have the tallies revised. Teddy, where is your 100 going this week?
Don't love a lot of bets, but I'm going to have a $100 treble. I'm making the Storm minus. I think they'll do a job on the Broncos. I think minus 14.5 now. Is that what you got?
It is 15.5.
Same deal. I'll back the Dragons head to head. And I'll back Hamaso Tabuai Fido to score a try as he is matching up on Dane Gagai. And that is one of the biggest mismatches you'll ever see all the time. Gagai can't tackle, and Hammer just loves scoring tries. So, bang. So, he's $1.95, I think. So, I think that'll work out to be about $7, around $7.40 mark. 100 on that.
Very nice.
On the chase.
On the chase. I'm going to go 2 bets. I'm going to have 50 on Tigers head-to-head, Dolphins head-to-head at $4.73.
Likeable.
And I am going to have 50 on the Hammer to score 2 or more tries. $4.50.
Here we go.
Protecting the lead.
Here we go. Was that your bet? Was that written down anywhere? Can you see, Paul, or was that just off the top of his head?
No. No, was not. Okay, why can't we just cheer something on together, Ted?
It's a good point.
What do you got, Paul?
Right, I'm down severely for the season, so I'm going to get back into the good as we head into the into finals football. I've got a 4-leg anytime try scorer multi here, starting off with Lachlan Galvin to score a try in the Spoon Bowl, Ronaldo Mulitalo to score a try for the Sharks against Manly, Trey Fuller to score a try for the Dolphins against Newcastle, and Paul Alamotti a try for the Panthers against the Titans. That comes out at 41-17. I will be at the top of the table come the end of this weekend.
Blast. I love it. I'm not chasing hard enough. Can I revise my bets? I want to do the Paul same. I want to do the Paul, but everyone to score 2.
I've got Blake's here too. He's taking 2 bets. $90 on the Dragons 1-12, Cowboys 1-12 at $10.06.
Getting a C, Blake.
And then he's got a 4-leg first, second, or third try scorer multi.
There's some big blasting going on.
Sevo, Young, Lomax, and Felt. $10 on at $133.22. This show lost the plot.
They're coming for that lead, Carl. They're coming for that lead.
Well, given I can't get one, it's all going straight past the edge of the bat at the moment. They might get it too.
Right, promotions. We've got the 3 or more leg same game multi bonus cash back if one leg fails, up to $50. That's available on every single NRL game this weekend. You're eligible for 1 per game. And, of course, the Oval Ball Mega Multi as well. So plenty of opportunities there for punters to get involved.
Fantastic. Teddy, thank you very much for your time today. We've gone
absolute pleasure as always. Loved it.
You too. Thank you. Thank you for holding down the hot seat last week, Paul.
Did he hold it down?
Happy. Thank you for sitting in the
Seemed like he let the hot seat fly around and burn anyone who's missed.
I'm the Trent Barrett of leading podcasts.
I heard Blake when Blake said, Carl's text me, said, can you please look after these two? And I legit did. I said, look, I need you here to try and keep these guys on the rails, please. Anyway, punters, thank you very much. We'll be back next week to do it all again. Cheers.